That's why we have such a success, because people want to invest. Like I said, they're super happy. They understand this revolution and want to.
You were mentioning about the system of some listing. How's the system? Hi, we're back again, Real Estate Indonesia podcast. We're gonna talk more about this section is more PropTech, and today we got our guest all the way from Bali, Mr. Jonas here.
Thank you so much.
From
nice to meet you.
Investor for You.
Investors for You and Bali Invest.
And Bali Invest, okay. Can you tell us a bit about Investor for You, the business you're in?
Yeah, so basically with Investors for You, like we creating like a marketplace, and this involves a new technology. So we're using smart contracts, basically an NFT, a non-fungible token.
Wow.
For that one that don't know about an NFT, just think about like gold. Gold is fungible. You have like 100 grams of gold here, and it's both same worth, and you can just share it and you will not see any difference. With an NFT, it's a unique thing. You cannot change this NFT with this NFT. And of course, uniqueness creates worth. So that is really important to understand. And we're creating NFTs in kind of a ownership. And so what we do is we tokenize projects, like can be companies, can be real estate, and we make it possible to invest from, let's say, $1,000 into hotels, resorts, and real estate, and we make it possible to buy on our marketplaces this kind of shares, and of course they can transfer and change it with other people, and that's basically the key point. There's much more behind, but especially for developer, this can be super interesting. Yeah.
Let's see, how long have you been doing this thing?
Yeah, so like with Bali Invest, I do it for a couple of years. We're already using this technology, like we're developing real estate, like especially resorts and hotels in Bali. And in this kind we make it possible, like I said, to our investors from all over the world. That's really important, to invest in a hotel from $1,400, especially through a notarized smart contract. So you have the complete full security, the trust of everything that's regulated, and still can invest from everywhere without having have to come here.
All the hassle of doing
exactly
the
all
contracts and
the
such.
bureaucratic thing, without joining here and without opening a company.
Yep.
So that's the key factor, and we're doing this quite for some years. Our investors bring a couple of millions dollars to the country here. And with the new marketplace, we are already have this idea for a longer time, and now developing it. It's a lot of work, of course. Yeah. And then we want to bring it to the people here in Indonesia.
Why Indonesia?
That's pretty easy. Indonesia brings the regulatory, and I think the Indonesian market is at the moment maybe the most interesting market here in the world. I see the potential of economic growth. The middle class gets much stronger. Also the president, they make a lot of infrastructure projects. Yeah. And all of this, like the omnibus law, makes it so much more interesting to invest in this country. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're here, to make when people want to invest in Bali, obviously.
For currently, asset under management under your company, how big is the valuation? I think you mentioned it a bit.
So the should be around like 25 million.
25 million USD.
USD,
Okay,
exactly.
USD.
So we maybe a little bit more, but I'm more on the conservative side. So like in 1 year and 4 months, we're collecting around $6 million directly into hotels, resorts. And so if you're taking a multiplier from, let's say, just 20, it would be much higher than I said in the beginning. But the potential growth is so much faster now. Like in the beginning we start, but now, especially from Western countries, so we're talking about Germany, Switzerland, Austria, it's really huge, the interest. It's coming more and more money, bigger amounts of money, and especially the reinvest is really high. So I would say more than 50% of our investors reinvest in the last year. and also bring, of course, a lot of new clients because the trust is already there.
Yep.
And then people are just asking, hey, how it works. That's pretty easy if you know. And then they invest and tell it to friends and family. And I see there's
it's a matter of building reputation, and then from there it's keep rolling.
Yeah.
What differentiates between Bali Invest and the investor for you?
Yeah, so Bali Invest is more like a development country using the technology, and Investors for You will bring this technology to everyone, especially for the developer. Not just for developer, if you have an already existing business like a restaurant working for 10 years, really fine. You have a lot of community. I mean, how easy it would be to get this community involved in a new project or in maybe funding 40% of the company. It would be super easy because you can invest with a small amount of money, and a lot of people can really bring new liquidity to this market. And that is especially for developer super interesting. They can get new liquidity from a completely different kind of investors. And I think that's the future.
Yeah, talking about the future, how do you see the growth in the Indonesian market?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. Especially for the real estate market, we're seeing a lot of infrastructure projects that's making many issues that have been maybe in the past now going slowly away. We're talking about a second international airport in Bali that could have a big impact on the north of Bali. We're seeing other projects in Sumatra, Kalimantan, and so on. And I think beside, let's compare just for short, Dubai to Bali. In Dubai, you have the half of the year. It's so hot. It's not possible to stay there. Also,
and in contrast, for the country that mostly winter is unlivable.
Exactly. And also in kind of investment and return on invest, it's really a huge potential to have all the year a stable income, a stable
revenue stream.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the government tries really a lot to make it easy for opening new companies here and come here. And I see just that the interest get more and more and more. And it's more shifting also in the luxury segment, in Bali especially. So it's not just this hippie surfer environment. It's already, it's there, but it's shifting. We get many new healthcare centers. And with the new train station around Bali, I think really a lot of people coming, especially also from Dubai, where we are near to the peak. Ich meine, the city in the desert is full. You don't want to go more out and out. So the potential, I think we are just starting, to be honest. I think we are just starting in Indonesia.
I think this accommodation or this system is also a new thing in Indonesia. I think most of our viewers, developers, doesn't quite understand how it goes. For a project owner sense, how could they start to set up their project to be in the platform?
Yeah. So basically you contact with us and we check, of course, legal stuff, like licenses and everything. If all this is fine, then you have a project you want to fund, can be existing, can be an off-plan project. Let's say it would be 1 million worth. And we divide it to, 1,000 token, each $1,000 worth. And then we going to our smart contract developer that making the contract on the blockchain, so it's totally transparent and secure. And next step is we go to the notary and make it legally binding.
Okay.
So after this, we put it on our platform, and then people can invest via normal bank transfer, international bank transfer with 16 different currencies from everywhere, or via crypto stable coins. So that's basically all possibilities. And when people invest on the platform, the money goes directly to the company. Exactly. We can implement fees and all these things, so it could be really interesting. We can also say the first 10% of the investors get maybe 5% more of the project worth, the second one, and so on. So
you can create staircase scenarios.
Yeah, there's endless possibilities. We could even implement, let's say, you just want to sell a house with 10 shares, and we could implement in the shares that every time they resell it, even you don't know when it will be resold, 5% come back to you the whole life. So every time they're reselling your house, you sell just once, you get 5% commission. So endless possibilities.
So smart contract and then the notary, it becomes a complementary system. Yeah, it's not against one another.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's also good for the investors to have the security. What is if something happened? What is if the company go offline or go insolvent? You always have the security to can reach out to a lawyer, to the government. I think for investors, this is a big trust, combining the fintech, the new technology, with already existing regulatory. And that's why we have such a success, because people want to invest through technology, but the trust is a big thing. So if you have the trustful, legally binding document, then it's okay. And then they start to investing, and after they invest the first time, like I said, they're super happy, they understand this revolution and want to do that again.
You were mentioning about the system of some of your investors tend to do like reinvesting. How's the exit strategy for this investment? Are they getting like a return or profit from the projects, or is it can be a unit that sells, or how does it work?
So there are different ways. Like you can sell it, of course, on the open marketplaces for anyone that wants to buy. This would also work without a third person. You just put it on, somebody buy and it's directly change. So there is also no trust issue. Also, you can transparent see years before what they already, how much they buy it, how many times it get traded. It's everybody.
Because it's through a system, then you can track histories like how
everything,
it's all the progress, the
exactly,
and all.
Yeah. It's like without names or anything like this, but you see like the wallet name, and you can directly see, okay, this guy's sell it for 20% higher after it gets cheaper, and so on. So you can prove by yourself, and that's a big impact. You don't have to trust anyone that tell you it was 100% more expensive.
It's funny. I think this system is pretty familiar to me because some of the restos here in Indonesia, the way they set it up is just like that. When they need a certain amount of capital, they break it down into like 20 ownership. If the nominal is too big, they just like spread it even like smaller. But yeah, legalities wise, I don't think in Indonesia they have really like dived that deep into the sense. Can you maybe give a bit advice how should the regulation look to support this system? Because we certainly see the benefits in a sense, like bringing in fresh capital, allow like smaller capital to be involved into real estate project. How do you see like the regulation wise?
Regulation wise, it's not bad at the moment, to be honest. I think it should be just more public that it is a kind of regulated. We should leave the gray zone into the green zone, that it's really, because there is ways, but if you just still search it in online, it's always about gray zone. So we should change this and make it more public that it's already working, because people always Google and trust what Google says to them. The next thing is it should be more regulated how to pay tax on this. It's really important for people that they understand what profit I get, if it's 10% less or more. It's important for them. And I think like that's the two key points. And
So yeah, basically maybe I can summarize. So basically just uncover the hidden truth about it in a sense, like the gray zone as you say, and then like open it to the market and be very specified on how the tax work, how the regulation work and such.
It's super important, especially also if we're talking about not just the foreign market, if we talk also about the Indonesian. For me, a big goal is to get more liquidity out of the Indonesian market and help the middle class to improve their life, because they can invest in projects like this. Why we should just give like let's say Western people the possibility to invest in big Bali projects and profit from that? Why not the Indonesian middle class can invest from $2,000 there and building from young age without going in debt and having credit problems and all this? Why they should not profit from the rental there with money coming from outside into Indonesia?
And this system allows fractional ownership.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have to own the whole unit to benefit from the profit and benefit for the capital gain, especially with real estate units, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And from your experience, the foreign investment going in Indonesia, the capital they bring in, what kind of asset class that they aim? Maybe it can be a suggestion for fellow developers on specific units they will better develop?
Yeah, at the moment the focus is on two things, like 2 and 3 bedroom luxury villas. It's definitely going away from like this cheap. It's more about luxury. It's more about like economically things like using the right materials. This is really important. And the second thing is flats. Many people at the moment searching for, let's say, $80,000 to $120,000 one apartment flat. And at the moment there is not so much supply for this. So like these two things are really important at the moment, and it's going more in this
and
direction.
And that speaks foremost into Bali market itself.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you see the trend nationally?
Nationally, I think community projects are really important. So let's say we're building a little city, kind of city. I think today it's really important that the infrastructure is binding to their work, and we're giving the possibility in this community to have more than just living there. They want something like schools. They want something like, where can I put my kids? Okay. What is with my older family members? Have that a possibility to have a community, to have a nice life in the older years.
What I saying, but this is a circular aspect of living. So every bit of it, the education aspect, the working aspect, the living aspect,
and of course, like the free time aspect, sport can be also like entertainment things. Like people need to come together to have a community feeling, and I think the new like kind of cities, should involve this. It's really important to have a healthy, well-being life, and people want to know what neighbors do and come together. And I think we can make a big impact if we have a good structured living space. And I think that will be the future. It's not just living here, and you don't know your neighbor, you don't meet, you don't need. I think that's the future, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the ideal way of living. If there's a way that more development heading that direction, then it will certainly attract more investment coming in, right? Okay, if we talk about like project sizes, there's so many varies from the micro ones till the like big developments. How's the sizing goes with the prospectus? What's the ideal sizing?
You mean like for investors want
Capital
to invest?
Investor to invest.
It's completely different. What I see, like big institutional investors, I think they would heavily be interested in investing in government projects.
Okay.
Because like there is a bigger trust, it's more secured by the government, and the big institutional investors, even big private investors, they have not this contact. They don't know where to get, and they don't have this contact and this possibility to invest in something like this. I think if we can make there like the bridge, it would bring huge money into the Indonesian market, because everybody knows in the Western we have degrowth. It's really bad at the moment, really, really bad. And many people leaving a lot of money and leaving even complete Europe. And they don't know how to bring it here. So we need to make a bridge. For smaller or mid-investors, about some millions of dollars or $100,000. I think they just have at the moment the problem they don't know anything about taxes, regulatory things and laws, but they want to invest. But they also hear a lot of stories about fraud, about kind of corruption with some developers.
The issue of legitimacy, because misinformation creates this.
Let's say just the land zone. Yeah, that's a typical thing.
Land certification.
Exactly. So they don't know how this works. Yep. And also, like from the traditional thing, you have to go to the banja, you have to talk to the community, and it's really important that they have somebody they trust, they know what to do next. And many people are just afraid to put money here because of all these things. They don't know how to work, nobody telling them. And the people try to tell them often don't know better. So if we would have something like rules that this have to be done, this is how it goes, and you can trust us because we show you exactly how, and not just want to sell, then we could get much more investors.
I see. So yeah, it's up to how to create a platform that just deliver certainties for these investors.
Also explaining freehold and leasehold, things like this. Yeah, this is really important.
And your platform will certainly help deliver in assisting this information to the investors.
Exactly.
And then, as you say, the investors tend to prefer for government projects due to its certainty. But how about independent business owners like private sectors? How can they set up their company to have such legitimacy, if not the same, maybe similar to the government sectors? What do they need to convince these investors?
I think transparent with the data is really important. So they need to have, let's say, at least a little business plan, numbers that how much income, how many, let's say, clients have been there monthly, what is the average return on invest on the clients. That's what people, Western people, know from the Western companies. Okay. So if they have this data, and I think then also maybe potential can invest just a portion, because they are like, I want to try. If it works, I bring a lot of money. And if you, that's also why Investors for You could be really helping in this case. You could just say 10% of my company, I want to sell, people invest, they see how high the potential is, and then they will come with a lot of money, that's for sure.
How big is the expected returns? How many percent usually, based on your experience on Indonesian assets?
Oh, it's completely different. It's really hard to give numbers there, because it depends where.
Depends on the scenarios, where, what kind of.
Yeah, completely. If it's a startup, it's a restaurant. It depends if it's in Uluwatu, in Sumatra, in Bali, in East and South.
Different region, different case.
Yeah, then also it depends on 2, 3, 4, 6 bedroom. Usually 2 to 3 bedroom makes the better return on invest. Because you get later not with 1 bedroom the same amount of money more. So I think between 2 and 3 bedroom you can have the most return on invest. It could be, let's say, brutto.
Okay. Oh, brutto, yeah.
Yeah, brutto. It could be between 20 and 25% in the maximum. Of course, there are some projects that even make more, and there are projects they're making 15%. But we're talking here about really good location. Yeah, also that's where it optimal should goes to. So something like this, if we're talking about resorts, the return on invest can be higher, because we're practically using the land just in a better way. We have multiple income streams like restaurant, spa, wellness, even daily guests to the restaurant, daily guest, monthly subscription for the wellness, for the fitness club, and so on. Especially also retreats, business retreats. Many people want to come here from the Western, have business retreats with famous people, learning 2 weeks about whatever, can be yoga retreat and so on. And they're paying a lot of money for this. Yeah? Also when people can pay $25,000 just for 2 weeks, have personalized retreat with 10 people.
Oh, wow.
And it's like $250,000, and the costs are pretty low for this. So there's a huge potential to make money with business concepts like this.
Okay, I see. It's a very good potential, very good prospect. But I see like it's so focused on the ecosystem of Bali. Us in real estate Indonesia especially, we have developers ranging from so many regions. How could they start getting there? What do you think it's appealing for investors or like international visitors to visit other regions than just Bali, Jakarta, or the main destinations?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it will take some time. But I know, let's just say Nusa Penida, Lombok is definitely coming. So I think it's absolutely possible. But I think something like this not go like in
it's not like a day's job. Yeah,
exactly.
Like it takes time.
But at the moment, Bali gets so full in the south that exactly this is happening. People going to the neighbor islands, going somewhere else. And what they experience there is actually really positive. That's what they see in the TV when they're in Germany. They want to have the rice fields. They want to have the local environment. And when they come to Bali in the south, often they're sometimes even disappointed because they're just seeing like streets full of cars. So I think there's a huge potential if we're going to the more in the holiday sector, when we're going to like wellness, retreat, especially if you want to make like sports and holiday outside, like hiking, mountain biking, all these things. If you combine like outdoor activities to a resort, this could be a huge beneficial.
Yeah, I think these features usually the things that we don't really cross into the minds within development. Developers tend to focus only within the areas that they develop.
Yeah.
But I think that's a very good point that you mentioned, to utilize.
Yeah, utilize it,
the
because
function, like
Western people, especially in whole Europe, every hotel and every resort is focusing definitely on what can they do outside of the hotel or the resort. It's absolutely normal, and people choosing as which resort I want to go and what can I do there. They are not like just focusing on I can be in the resort. Usually they want to do something. They want to see the environment and so on.
I think that's exactly what missed from Indonesian development. Mostly. Like we saw big resorts. Sometimes you stay there and it's not just sufficient to spend the whole day just inside the resort.
Yeah.
But we see like the trend like Germany and like I visit abroad. What they tend to showcase is the natural resource. Like if we go to US like Yosemite, they only have like a small compound when people stay, but the whole feature is the national park that they want to exploit.
Yeah, I think especially e-bikes at the moment plays a huge role in Europe.
Okay.
People first time are possible without being super fit, to even in old age, or with the whole family. Kids are slow. You want to go, you know. It's a huge thing in Germany, and it feels like now 5 years ago nobody have e-bike. Now everybody have, and I think especially here in Bali we could use more e-bikes for making trips.
Yeah, I think it's so beneficial because I used to ride bikes during the pandemic.
Nice.
And I heard like electric bikes, I think it introduced on the end of the pandemic period. But energy saving, I think you only need to use around like 30-40%. It's still a workout.
Yeah,
but
you can decide.
It's a lot easier, a lot easier to get to places, and it increases your radius of exploration.
Yeah, exactly. And you can combine it with other let's say events in the area, you know, so that's also good. You can work with partners and make partnerships together, creating some nice arrangements with I don't know, like a picnic at the waterfall and things like this. And I think through this the possibility is higher to get more people in hotels, because nobody is doing it at the moment. That's the thing. You will be probably one of the only one if you have many things like this, and yeah, we should more focus on this, definitely.
Yeah, integrated development, focus not just on your development solely, explore what's in the area and how can your development plays a role into complementing these activities.
Also maybe bringing the people more together in the resort. In Germany there we call it like kind of, there's like kind of resorts where like you bring the kids and the kids get like with like kind of teachers and making all the stuff, and parents have they half day free and doing something, and then they come in the evening together, have a show, have things they can do together as a family. And it's like it's perfect for families because the parents in the holiday want to have some time for them, the kids want to have action.
Excellent.
If you can combine this, people are really willing to pay a lot of money. In Germany that's usually where the most money goes, like Aldiana, Robinson Club. This kind of concept I never see in Bali, to be honest. It's just with kids, but then there is no real, they don't really take care about this, or it's just for adults and the kids have nothing to do. I think that could be a good combination.
Yeah, focus on the social programming.
Social programming, definitely.
And then think about demographic, focus on family.
Yeah.
And then deliver the total experience that they don't manage to get on their daily basis.
Yeah.
So I think, thank you for the insight. I think that's very insightful, and hopefully it inspires for fellow developers, especially within the locals. Because Real Estate Indonesia also, we work closely now with the Ministry of Tourism, and a lot of development in sub-regions are about to mitigate, like functioning their estate as a like resort and such. But I think your explanation gives lights to it, in a sense. How can small developers partake in these grand ideas? Just focus on the programming, utilizes natural resources that are already there, and then integrating with fellow developers.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
to create better value proposition. And once it's done, then the capital comes in and support the development further.
Yeah, definitely. especially like resorts have a lot of clients that have money. They could fund your next project.
And oh yeah, especially that direct experience, because they tend to visit, they like it.
Exactly. That's the a big idea behind it. You know, like people come, see what they get, and if you have something to invest in the future, why should they say no? If they already come 5 times to your property, to your resort.
It's a lot better than sending out the proposal. They get to visit there, they experience the whole thing, and if they like it,
And it will be the best clients you can get. They already love it. So they will not come in your neck and say, this.
and the profit comes later. You know,
Exactly.
like they don't even mind. They even brings in more client, refer it to the friends and such.
Exactly. That's the thing. And also for the developing side, it's also nice because usually you can make the structure in the company like a silent partnership.
Okay.
So usually you have like one big investor get 40%, have a lot to say. You know, like he will definitely keep focusing what you're doing and maybe not agree with you. But if you have like 100 investors and they have a silent partnership, they're not actively telling you what you have to do. So you can focus on your business while the silent partner bring the money, and you don't lose authority or any kind of structure.
You're able to set the tone for how the
Exactly.
business run, and then like all these investors, they just chip in their parts because they like the idea already.
Exactly.
And moreover, it's better if they already experience it.
I think that's a really huge potential. Yeah.
I think it's very insightful. It's a very short podcast, but I think it concludes it all. Hopefully, thank you for sharing the ideas, and thank you for coming all the way here from
Thank you
Bali.
for inviting me.
And that's about it. Our podcast, hopefully it inspires to fellow members and fellow audience. And yeah, we see a bright prospect on Indonesian tourism market, and especially for rental properties. And we see a lot of intention for foreign investment to come here. And with the system that Jonas offer with his team, it allows us to have fractional ownership to the real estate. And hopefully this brings in fresh capital to nation's development. And hopefully we can further develop Indonesia and expose its beautiful resources to the world. Thank you, Jonas, for being here.
Thank you.
Very insightful.
Yeah.